this is the personal section, I guess.
Let's go personal. You ready to go personal?
Let's get deep.
Yeah.
Let's cry.
Obviously, only answer questions that you feel comfortable asking.
Yes.
Where do you think you go when you die? No, that's not a question. But you can answer that if you want.
We get uploaded to a hard drive that Missy is there and whatever Series 8 was about.
Yes, exactly.
That's where you go when you die. Where Daddy Pink is.
Where Danny Pink is.
Rest in peace.
So
Pieces.
how are things going for you personally? How are you?
I'm fantastic. Yeah, on a very personal note, this is the happiest I've been in years.
Wow. That's incredible.
My girlfriend and I were fortunate enough. We've got an apartment now, which is very nice.
Hey.
Moving up in the world.
Have you moved?
I've moved from when you saw me last. So where we played beer pong that one time, it's no longer a thing, my man.
I
But we
thought
got beer pong
it looked
here,
different.
don't worry.
I thought it looked different. But I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to like ask a question that maybe was too personal. But you've moved now, okay?
You could ask me anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no. So that's huge. Family's great. I'm great. Girlfriend's great. Career blossoming. I don't know. And I'm on a podcast with two lovely gentlemen. So life's good.
How's we're here for a laugh.
You're too sweet.
How are things holding up in your your work life, your personal life, family life, with just all the craziness happening kind of around the world in the news? Like, are you eating a big fuel like tag at the end of the week, or how are you doing with all that?
Look, I imagine the fuel prices is all very much the same where you guys are.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ludicrous. My fuel light just came on today, and I went, no, for God's sake,
damn it,
why? But yeah, no, I mean, it is an absolutely crazy time out there, isn't it? It's a bit scary.
Oh yeah.
That's probably, I imagine, like a lot of Doctor Who fans like Doctor Who for the escapism element of it all, because sometimes the world we live in is a little bit scary, a little bit unknown waters or whatever. So yeah, it's definitely a scary time. And yeah, I don't know. Last week I was with my family on the farm. My grandparents live on a farm all the way near like Canberra. So I was with them for the Easter long weekend. And I hate talking politics with family and just how the world is and all of that.
It comes to the forefront.
Man, come on! Like, you're talking to like the extended family, and everyone's got their beliefs. I talk about this is family I don't usually talk to. And I was like, I make videos on Doctor Who, and they're like, oh yeah, she's a woman now, isn't she? I'm like, oh well, no.
Well, not anymore. Yeah.
Not anymore, but like
she was, and then she changed.
Why do you have to phrase it like that? I don't know. We live in crazy times, man. And I like to think that Doctor Who's made me a better person and more, well equipped to deal with times like we're in.
Do your family do they get impressed with the fact that you're a celebrity, Oscar?
Absolutely not. They couldn't care. And I'm not a celebrity.
You're big. You're huge.
Well,
come on.
I actually kind of I kind of had a question.
We love you. You're very special.
Maybe this is like a better, way to word it. I don't know. How does it affect you to be almost like a micro celebrity? I don't mean that as an insult.
It's not even a term. It's a party trick. That's what it is.
Right. Okay.
People go, "Whoa, that's cool."
Yeah.
And that's it.
The guy at the pub.
I don't want anything more.
We went to the pub one time in a place called Joondalup in WA, and we convinced the whole group that Lionel Richie died. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's a side thing.
That's right.
Rest in peace, Lionel Richie. And the bloke was like, "Damn, man, my mum loves him. We grew up listening to his music." I was like, "Yeah, dude, rip Lionel Richie, bro."
Yeah.
And
that was such a funny bit.
That was so funny.
Lionel Richie past.
It's just random. But he said to you, like, what do you do? And you're like, I do this and that, but I also do YouTube, and I have like, I think at the time he had like 32,000. And he was like, yo, dude. I mean, he was very impressed, I would say. But this is what makes you so great. You're so humble.
Yeah, that's cool.
I guess what I'm curious about is like, and you know, maybe that's the, like you say, party trick positives. Have you ever, do you think, had any negatives come from it? Like being, you know, because there's this weird zone where you can be more famous than you are making money from what you're doing to be famous. So it's like you're not making enough money to, you know, really feel good about having to put up with the shitty parts of it.
No, I would say 99% of like just being on YouTube in general has been nice. I'm not fazed by a lot of comments now. Like, you know, I got some crazy comments today.
And that's just from the two of us.
No, like, and that's just from YouTube. Yeah. Absolutely. No, it's been good. Like, I'm trying to think of any like major negative that's come from having a YouTube channel. I remember, like, I didn't really tell my parents that I had a YouTube channel until I hit 100 subscribers, and then they were like, "Whoa, what?
Wow,
what do you mean?
You're famous."
Yeah.
I hid that for a while, but no real negatives. I would say it's been pretty. Like, I mean, I used to say, like, I started all of my videos because I thought all YouTubers had to have a phrase that they say.
Yeah, that's very old school. I feel like,
yeah. And I used to just say, "Hola, amigos."
Yeah, hola, amigos. Crispy Pro here.
I don't know why. Yeah, that's the one. I don't know why I chose that. That was very much like a last minute. I need something, and all of you were my amigos.
Right.
But as soon as I like lived at college for a few years, like on campus living, you know, like
nice.
You know, frat house style, but American. And I mean Australian, not American. And I remember going to lunch one day, and someone who I'd barely talked to just went, "Hola, amigos," and I was like, "What?"
He knows.
No, they weren't a fan. They were making fun of me. They were making fun of me. It's like, oh gosh, I don't know if I really want, you know, people to know that I have a YouTube channel at college, because, you know, I live with like, you know, 300 people that I would see in the dining hall every day. And it was basically like, you know, a new school, a time to reinvent yourself type thing. But it was pretty fortunate that me going to college happened to align with the premiere of Series 10. And I was flown to, here's me flexing again, sorry. I was flown to Sydney by the BBC to do interviews with people about Series 10, and they like set up a TARDIS and this beautiful mural on the ground that kind of, you know, one of those like 3D paintings that they do on the ground, and it had all of like, you know, the monsters from Series 10 and stuff. And then that video went out, and then I think people started taking what I do seriously at college. They're like, "Oh, he's no joke. He's actually, you know, he's part of the thing." And so I think that helped ease any of the bullying that was going on.
Well, it's hard in a social setting to bring up YouTube. I feel like it's
well. What's it been like for you guys?
Horrible.
Bring it up this time. Horrible?
No, I don't talk about it at work. It did get out. Not because of me, because of fucking Hannah, who's come on this show. Here you go, this girl.
We're here for a laugh.
Yeah.
Who's got a mouth like this, like at the Christmas in July party. Well, Conor makes YouTube videos. It's like, okay, I told you not to tell anybody.
5'3" and attitude.
No.
It's hard. I mean, I don't really. I like to keep the two separate as much as I can. I don't like, because when you're on YouTube, you're a exaggerated version of yourself, and sometimes I think for me, I perceive that as me being cringe. So I don't like people to see that version of myself. I even like, I don't have this to any extent of like what you, because I've been out with you at like Comic-Con and stuff, and when we've done the Science or Audio events, and people flock to you. And a few people did come up to like Aiden and I, or like maybe separately. I found that incredibly. By the way, if anyone ever does want to come up, it's fine. It was no one's fault. I found it quite spooky. I was like, oh, this is strange. This is something that I thought I would love when I was a kid. Like, oh, how cool. But the reality of it was, you know, me saying to get out of a conversation, I need to go to the toilet and just stand in the cubicle for 10 minutes, like on my phone, because I was like, feeling like, but it's weird to walk, like when we like walked into a room with like me and Aiden, who next to nobody knows, but we were standing next to, you know, you and Josh. It felt like everyone just like looked and everyone was just looking at us. And it to me, I got anxiety. I just felt like super freaked out. But apart from that, I mean, it's incredible. I absolutely love to do it. But you know, it's just what we do, really. I think, and I feel like at this point in my life, if I didn't want to do it, then I feel like I'm too old and cranky to do it if I didn't want to do it. So, what about you, Mr. Aid?
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird thing to share because sometimes you want to maintain like a work vibe or a work relationship with someone, and it's just weird if they are seeing you, you know, in that performative way. Like, you know, when you go and make a video, you kind of have it in mind that it's the audience that's seeing it, or at least the relationship that you're having with the audience is like, yes, I'm putting on a little show for you. And that's not the dynamic you have when you're talking to like your coworkers or other people.
Sure.
I've gotten a lot better at, you know, being really proud and happy with the stuff I'm making and like just being happy to be making it. And so it's like, you know, hey, look at this. I'm me expressing myself type of thing. But yeah, I guess you have to get to a place with it. You know, you have to kind of feel right about what you're doing, you know.
And Dan, I need to just like shout out, your videos are incredible.
Oh.
Like they're genuinely
thank
you're
you.
very well spoken and articulate. Sometimes I feel like I humble and I ramble and it don't make sense. You're very concise and you make some very, very good points.
Well, thank you. That's
Thank
so
you,
sweet.
Dan.
I've never told, but yeah, no, I've
How sweet.
I've seen your stuff and I'm very impressed.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Crispy.
Yeah, Dan is
coming from you,
just
that's
so-
very wonderful to hear. So thank you.
Dan's always been so talented, and I mean, I feel super lucky to even be able to like collaborate with him. I mean, like, I know technically maybe today it went a little bit off the schedule, but
We don't know.
we don't know if that
internet's
was ours.
Yeah, where did we go?
usually.
He does all this, and I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
Nobody
I
knows.
wouldn't know how to. The amount of like setup that Dan does of it is like crazy, and Aiden as well. Like I almost feel like I just kind of like come in and just sit down and try to be funny and fail miserably a lot of the time. But that's what my plan
dude,
is.
your opening speech at the Doctor Who Oscars had me cackling in my car, dude.
Haha.
I
It
did
was
love that.
unreal. I was cry laughing. It was so funny.
Thanks.
It was so good.
I wrote that on my lunch break in like 10 minutes, maybe less.
Yeah.
I was like
So
between clients
So good.
doing support work. I was like,
Yeah.
I have like on Thursdays, because I always leave everything so late. I always leave stuff so late. I'm watching episodes late. I'm writing stuff late. I just kind of threw something together that I was like, but I know Aiden is very like, he does like to cut some stuff out. So I was like, before I did the speech and he picked me up, I was like, here's what's going to happen. I'll do the speech. I'll read it as I've written it and just react like you would normally react, like there's no camera around. And if you want to cut it out later, because I feel like it will ruin the it will ruin like the momentum of like delivering the speech.
Yeah, absolutely.
But nothing was cut. So
no, you left the whole thing, and you even said in the episode, "Be like, you can cut that." Aiden was cackling, dude.
I love that.
It was fine. I always tried to like give a little bit of shit out, but I feel like we're pretty I think we're pretty aware of, you know, how we are on you. Aiden's been an absolute goon recently on Twitter, like just pissing everybody off. Like it's so funny.
nasty.
It's good. It's good to see.
That's just always him. Like, can I
Aiden's got that dog in him, you know.
can I ask you, Crispy?
Yo.
How did you know that it was time for you to leave Who's There, which you've just left like a month ago? How did you know it was time to leave?
Well, yeah, I mean, like, Who's There is like a beautiful, beautiful podcast. But at the how do I explain this? When Troy asked me to do the podcast back in 2021. If we want to get serious, want to get personal, I was in like the worst place mentally I had ever been, like ever. Like it was very dark, and like, you know, that there was like a big, you know, black hole on YouTube where I wasn't posting, I wasn't doing anything. I was like, is Crispy Pro done? I don't really want to do anything more with Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And then Troy, like, he asked me initially, I said no, and I'm not. And then like a few months later, like we were just texting as friends, and he was like, oh, do you want to give it a go? I was like, you know what, I need an excuse to get kind of like back up and making content. Crispy Pro might not be here today if Who's There didn't exist.
Wow.
And so I was like, yeah, right, let's give it a go. And it was so much fun. I'll kind of like review I was like, this might just be like a temporary thing, and I'll kind of review at the start of every year being like, do I want to keep going with the podcast? And then it was the start of this year. I was like, I think like it's been great. Maybe I need to step back. You got sad music going on.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta set you up.
Like, yeah, and then I was like, yeah, Troy, it might be my time to step back. That's just kind of how I'm feeling right now. I'd be so happy if you want to continue the show. And Troy was like, obviously, you know, kind of shocked by this. But we made it work, and my last episode is one of like my favorite pieces of content I've ever put out on the internet.
Yeah, I watched it. It was great.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And Troy has kept it going and like absolutely succeeded. like absolutely.
Yeah, I'm
crushed
impressed
it.
actually.
And maybe I was holding him back, is how I've been saying it.
Oh, bless you.
But yeah, like I don't know. It was just like my time basically, and I was like, I kind of want to focus on other things.
That's the angel music for
Troy's
Troy.
Absolutely crushing it. That's for Troy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Bless you, sir.
No, it was, yeah, I mean, yeah, Who's There was so much fun, but I was like, yeah, I don't know, maybe now is the time for me, and I'll focus on other things. Who knows? I might come back to the world of podcasting one day. I'd love to have an in-person podcast like you guys do. Like that's a dream.
Yeah. It's hard when you got someone
I think it'll be
your co-host is in the UK. Like, I mean, that's
in virtual space.
That's hard.
The time difference was absolutely crazy. Like, I'd be recording at 7 a.m. Like, those would be the first words I speak of the day.
Yeah,
were those episodes. But yeah, no, so proud of that product. So proud of Troy, and yeah, I'm so happy that it's still going. Because I think, and like Troy, like by himself, is unbelievably articulate. Like, so those are some of the like cleanest podcast episodes I've ever listened to with just Troy. It reminded me of your stuff, Dan. Like,
yeah,
it was
okay, great.
Straight to the point.
he is a great creator. Like, he's
fantastic.
I think he deserves the success that he's got. Like, he's, you know, and he's multi-talented with all his like payday stuff. Like, he gets flown out everywhere. Like, you know, honestly, like,
oh yeah, I remember you told me about
yeah,
that.
I mean, good for him. Like, I've always liked Troy. I had a bit of a soft spot for him. I think that
he's such a quirky dude.
He's just a great, I think he's a good, like, you know, internet personality, which,
well, isn't that, you know, sort of the beauty
absolutely.
of like what we're all doing?
Yeah,
to
exactly.
make these weird but nice connections with people like over the internet, you know?
Yeah,
it's weird. Like, I like, with my girlfriend and I in 2023, we went over to the UK for just for fun, and it happened to be around the same time of Doctor Who's 60th anniversary. I met Troy on the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And like in person, IRL, and it was great. Like, and it's so weird. Like, you know, and I would never have met Troy without, you know, the internet and the YouTube fandom or whatever.
Yeah.
And same with meeting Conor, and maybe one day, Dan, I'll meet you in person. Who knows?
Oh.
Who knows what'll happen?